How you all doing? How you all doing on this beautiful Sunday? I hope everyone's doing well. Ready to model some environments. I thought today we'll break a little bit from characters and then we go to Maya and do some of the stage that our kids are gonna be in. And then you guys can see me doing some polymoly instead of ZBrush all the time. Yep, that intro is epic. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Leticia Gillett, and this is the Archetype channel. We're doing still the Rebel Archetype. Hopefully, we'll be done like in one more week, and we'll start a new one. And this stream is sponsored by Lenovo. Thank you, Lenovo. And today we're gonna do some environment modeling and some poly modeling, which I don't think I've done much with you all so far. So it'll be interesting to see what do you guys think. If you have other ideas on how to do stuff and such. Hi Khalil, hi Rodrigo, hi Jace, hi Abdul, hi everyone. Yeah, if you guys use any other software like Blender or 3ds Max or Cinema 4D, whatever it is, whatever I'm going to be doing, polymodeling is pretty standard on any other software. So hopefully you can apply that to your way of working. But I'm still more comfortable polymodeling in Maya. I'm studying a lot of Blender, and hopefully I'll get to a point in Blender where I feel pretty confident. But Maya is still my main modeling software for polymodeling. So that's where I'm gonna do stuff. If you guys have any questions, be sure to put on the chat, and let's start this. All right. Let me share my screen. One second. I don't know if you guys saw, I did an interview with one and only Bobby Shu. Well, he interviewed me. So if anyone's interested, I'll put the link here if you want to watch, listen, whatever. It's on the chat. You guys can check it out if you're interested. Cool. All right. All right. Let me share my screen. Here we go. You guys can see that, right? My Maya, chat, and my pure ref. Mateo said, "Hi Leticia, I want to thank you for the dedication to share your knowledge. I learned a lot from your tips." Thank you, Mateos. I'm glad that we kind of demystify, right? Demystify a little bit of how people like this do stuff just like you all do. We just need to keep practicing. The more you practice, obviously, the more like muscle memory becomes. So I would say don't be afraid of keep practicing and testing stuff and studying, putting time to study, etc. All right. So last project, I did not do the project on scale, which was fine because it was kind of creature, so it didn't matter much the scale. But on this one, I'm gonna do things the right way. So we're gonna set things to scale. Okay. So I put here, as you all can see, some reference for some different kinds of like kids school stage vibes. I really like this one. I like the small ones, not too fancy, like this, for example. That's kind of the vibe I'm gonna try to go. Here's from some ideas for the decoration. There's some cutouts here, a bit too much. I think our production is gonna be a bit less budget. So yeah, let's start modeling. So I'm gonna pretend here. What I like to do first is to do a very quick block out of all the pieces, and then we start high resing them as we go. So our characters, they're kids, so I'm gonna make a cube for now. I don't need to have the character here yet. I'm just gonna make a cube, and I'm gonna say that Maya, just so you all know, Maya is set in centimeters normally. Here we go. See here, sets in centimeters. So a kid about their age, I would say they're like a meter tall. So I'm just gonna put 100, which is 1 meter, and point. So this is like the height of our kid. Okay. And now we know kind of like how to build stuff around it. And if your grid is too small, you can always change it. I like to put like 1,000 here, like 10. Why? Okay. Might be too much for 5. I'm gonna put this one. All right. So now we have a bigger grid. Our kid is I'm gonna call like kid proxy. So it's just our, kid proxy. Hi, how you all doing? So let's do this. I'm going to do some, just a little more volume for our kid here. It's not so thin. It's kind of like the bounding box of what our kid would be volume wise, like something like this. Khalil asks, I'm a beginner, so I need to ask, why do we need to do proper scale for a scene? That's a great question, Khalil. And a lot of people don't know, why do we need to do proper scale? So a lot of renders like Arnold, Marmoset, V-Ray, Cycles, they are based on real world scale shaders. So when you put, for example, a skin shader on something, if you have things on a proper scale, like world scale, those shaders are going to work much better. Not just the shaders, but also the lights, they work pretty much better if you work on real world scale. So a lot of it is because of the rendering part that you do like proper scale, because they're built considering real world measurement. That's why it's good to work on scale, basically. All right. So we have our kid. And now let's think about this. Like maybe we can do like a stage like this. So it's gonna be like a wood planks. Most of them have wood planks. Yeah, no worries, Khalil. Hey, Mateos. Yeah. Most of them have like some wood floor. So let's do that. So again, like I'm just gonna do a quick block out. So a lot of it is gonna be making a bunch of cubes and establishing things. So I'm gonna do like a cube like this to set the floor of the stage. Okay, I'm gonna hide a kid for, well, I'll leave that kid here. We can think about already, like my idea was to have like 4 kids. So I'm gonna duplicate here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then our kid is gonna be here. At the end, like we're gonna put them spaced very close together, and then she's gonna be a little off on the side doing her own thing. So I'm just gonna make this kid a little smaller so we know it's our kid here. So I'm gonna make this stage a bit longer so we can have some curtains and such. This, okay. And then I like to work with wireframe on. Hello, Leticia. Happy Sunday. How's it going? Happy Sunday. We're going to be doing some environments today for our characters. So we're going to build some stage that they're going to be in. I really like this one, how small it feels, and kind of like, I think the curtains, instead of having the straight curtains, are going to have more like a theater curtains, kind of like this. Yeah. Rodrigo said, this is kind of important to know because if we are working in a giant, for example, the SSS on his ears won't be that visible comparing to the little mouse, correct? Yes. So that's why it's good to work in scale, because exactly what Rodrigo said, because the shaders are built for world scale, then the lights also work much better with world scale. And that's why we're going to do that. And sometimes you might do something in ZBrush and it's so tiny and small, and then you bring to Maya and you start putting shaders and everything looks broken. That's probably because of the scale. That's why we don't do that. All right. So let's check it out. Some ideas here. We have this one, which is kind of, I think I'm going to go through with this one, to be honest. So we have some walls here on the side. So let's build some walls. In general, hey Daria, how's it going? Hi Leticia, can be present today on the stream, but we'll watch tomorrow. Thank you in advance for you. Have a nice day. Of course. Nice to see you. One question, where someone can get a texture of ground and similar stuff, you use like you use an innocent scene. Well, there's so many textures websites. For me, I was using a lot of the textures that they already have on Substance Painter. For that stuff, I just use like procedural textures. But I'll make a list of some texture websites later and then I'll send it to you all here. Cool. That's a good question. All right, so let's build some stuff. So I'm gonna make a wall, and again, like I can take anything really, and actually I'm gonna create a cube because normally the distance from the floor to the ceiling, it's about 2 meters and 40. I know that because I went to architect school, but you can research that as well. But it's about 2 meters and 2 meters and 60. We might do 60 because it's like an auditorium kind of vibe. So here's what I'm going to do. For the height, I'm going to put 260. And you can see here that this will be kind of like the height of our auditorium thing. Might do a bit bigger. Maybe let me do one thing before I start scaling. I'm going to do 3 meters just because I think our place is has a higher ceiling. Cool. All right, so let's put in here this wall here, and I can do one side, I can mirror the other because they're symmetrical. And I'm gonna do this wall here. Cool. A pillar of a wall in general will have 15 centimeters. So here I put 20 at 15, and then we can have a wall pillar. You don't need to know this thing, just to be very honest with you all. You don't need to know those things I'm saying. I'm just saying. So if you're interested, you will know. Cool. Here's the wall. I think I'm going to raise all of it above, like something like this. So we can put the wood bit in the bottom. Again, like I'm doing as fast as possible and thinking about proportions, thinking about, you know, very simple stuff like so. I can put in front view and just get an idea. Now we can put everything aligned to the line of the floor. The important thing here is to think about like the story. We're gonna put a camera very soon so we can figure it out, the story we're gonna tell with the scene, figure out what's the best angle, etc. Okay. All right. So now this a little piece of wood that goes around here. And it goes to the wall a bit. So And again, also, we're going to stylize all of this a little bit as well. Like, I'm not going to keep so stiff. We're going to give some life to it. Just like we do with characters, we got to give some nice life. And let me like make this a little taller just to give a bit more. And then we can take this piece of wood, push it up here. Please do character. And we'll get back to characters. We just need to set the environments for the characters and then we'll get back to it. Don't worry about it. For storytelling, environments are so important. I mean, environments are important for a lot of things, not just storytelling, but um, I people underestimate the power of having environments for storytelling, um, but I don't. So we're gonna do some environments here. Okay, so we have this stuff going on. Look. And then we have this wood. It doesn't matter much what happens up here. I think I'm just going to close up here this. Just kind of, you can see that I'm being pretty, dirty. I would say dirty, but for now, I'm just trying to figure out proportions. So I don't want to be cleaning up stuff for now. You know, I might do something here just to kind of like, I'm thinking about the lighting of this and then how I can block some light coming from the side. So I can do something like this. And we have this bit. Cool. We're gonna have our characters. They're not gonna be so back there. I feel like they're gonna be a bit more forward. Okay. And let's put some ideas for the curtains. So again, like I'm just duplicating cubes to set uh, what I think it should be. And then we're gonna play a little bit to check like proportions and things such like so. Coming here. I can keep the curtains pretty close like this. And we can put some curtains on top. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. And this curtain's gonna be in front of it. Like so. Can I suggest something for Noma's stream? If it is possible, some props. Me personally, I learn a lot from your stream. Thank you, Norman. Yeah, prop stream is good too. We're doing some props here. Since this is the curtain, I'm going to just make like a plane for now. Like a little plane. Like this. And okay. I'm not gonna make the curtains. Well, we could make the curtains a little longer on the side. So we could take this, push it out a bit more. One thing I like to do is to select everything that's one side and I group it. Then I like to do a duplicate special, and then I do instance with negative scale. And that means that whatever I do in one side is gonna mirror to the other side. And that's nice for now. Do you do texturing also at Disney or pure character modeling? I do pure character modeling at Disney. I only do texturing on my own personal projects, but as a modeler there, I do mainly texture, modeling, not mainly texture. Cool. Let's put a floor in here. Floor like so. Nice. I think we don't need much more than this. Now let's set a camera and see how we're feeling. We can even set some lights in here just to get a vibe for things. But I'm going to create a new camera. So, camera, new camera. Oh, I'm going to call this camera shot cam. Not shit cam, shot cam. And then I'm going to go see what's going on with my shot cam here. I'm going to zoom out. One thing that is very important to think about is I can use the camera frame here. I think I'm going to frame pretty much like very symmetrical like this. Yeah, we got to set some good focal length. I don't know if I should symmetrical, if I should do something a bit more angle like this, more close to the story. We're gonna have to experiment and see what we can do here. We might want to do a bit of an angle. Kind of like imagine that her parent is sitting on the crowd. That could be cool. Like the view is like from her dad or mom in the crowd. You could even put like a little head here of someone kind of on a foreground. That could be cool. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. So let's keep it a bit angled, like is a mom or a papa is holding the camera. Cool. I'm gonna think about, it's always good to think about composition, right? So let me get my epic pen here. Let's think about this. So we could use the rule of thirds. We could separate this. Let's see. We could separate this in 3 parts and then think about our character could be right about here on the 3rd piece. We could try also like with the lighting, right? A lot of composition can happen with lighting as well. Like we could focus our kid a bit more. I think I'm going to make it more zoomed. Maybe this thing can go down more so we can see. Gonna zoom out. Focal length. What is the best way to open the UVs for an environment like this one you're modeling? I always separate per object, but I don't know if this is the best way talking about optimization. For example, I have a whole FBX with a single UV for the curtains, another one for the stage. Yeah, Rodrigo, I normally do by material type. So like if I have a bunch of wood, I will probably put them together in one UV sheet, 1 or 2. If I have some cloth, I'll probably try to put the cloth together, you know. So I like to separate UVs by material type, basically. And I know some people do differently, but by material helps me because then I can go to Substance Painter and just think about that material when I'm painting. Yeah, that's normally what I do. So I'm going to zoom out here a bit more because the idea I said, like, for example, we're going to have one person ahead of a person here on the foreground. I think that's a cool idea of like someone, I don't know. We'll think about it, but I'll keep it like this for now. Let's think about our focal length. So if I go to my camera now, go here, we have 35. For this, probably put 55, which is kind of a bit flatter than 35. So again, we might need to push it a bit more. Actually, maybe 50, just pushing a bit more. Again, it depends on how flat or how pushed you want the camera angle. The lower you go, the more pushed. The higher you go, the more flat. I feel like we're gonna have to go pretty close to the character like this so we can really see the story. Also, I might put her a little more in the front of the stage, or she just came to front and then they're a little more in the back. We'll see. All right, so this is kind of like what we're gonna do now. So I'm gonna go back to my perspective view so we can continue modeling. And we can think about maybe some rows of chair. I don't know if we're gonna see the chair, but we can think about that. For now, I think this is good enough for us to start high resing, which is gonna be super fast because there's not much to do here. Um, just make this a bit bigger, push it up. This, yeah. And now's the time that we're gonna do some cleanup. So I like to take the characters, for example, put in a layer, just so we can be organized. I'm gonna call this characters, char, oops. Then we can hide them whenever we want. Yeah. So what can we do with something so simple to give some life to it? You know, obviously we need to model the decoration as well. But what can we do? One thing I like to think about, let's think about this wood for example. The stage wood, this, right? So it's just a piece of wood, sure, but we can give just a little bit of life to it, okay? And that's the power of animation because we can push stuff, you know. We can make stuff more pushed. So I would not leave it like this. Obviously, wood has a certain type of bevelly, right? This one's pretty sharp, but we can make our wood just a bit rounded. So what I'm gonna do here, yeah, that's true. The moves thing has some nice stage. So what I'm doing here, just adding a few subdivisions on it on the body of the wood, so we can kind of start adding some. I like to call character because everything. If we can think about environments being a character, we can think about thick to thin. We can think about curved versus straight. There's so much we can think about that we learn in characters that we can apply to environments. Cool. So right now, I'm gonna put some edges here to hold the edge here, right? So we know supporting edges. And I'm gonna put a supporting edge here. And we can put some support edges for the sides. I like to make them like different sizes. Like I don't make it perfectly the same spacing because that already gives some character. So for example, if I put tighter up here, but then I put looser down here, if I press 3, you can see that it's a bit tighter here, a bit looser here. It's already giving character to my wood. Cool. And now one thing I like to do is just come over here, for example, and start changing like this area. I'm going to push it in a little and up, maybe. And then it's just like small things. You don't need to do anything crazy. Obviously, it depends on the style. There's some styles that it's nice to do some crazy stuff. But on this one, I'm just going to go like a little bit down like so. And then you're gonna see that doing all these little bits of things, it's gonna make our model cooler at least. So I'm gonna push this in a bit. And we can add more character even on the textures, right? But if let's apply some wood color on the wood so we can see it better. So normally what I like to do is just assign a blend. And I like to put a little color, like a wood color. Could be something like this. Cool. And then my blend, which is my specular, for now, I'm going to keep it, like if I zoom in, you're gonna see now the speck going around, right, on the wood. And we can even come over here, for example, and maybe push this in a bit, and then take one word, push it out, or giving a little bit. So you can treat as much as you want as a character. And the more you do that, the better environment artist you're gonna be. Because if you treat, obviously, we know that the main story is coming from the character in this case, but if the environment tells some story as well with the character, wow, that is just another level, right? So I like to put those edges and start moving them around, try to give, and again, like I'm being very conservative. I might, like, after I do everything, I might push it even more. Now that I did this wood here, I can just duplicate, push it up here. I can even rotate like so, so they're not, doesn't look symmetrical from what I did on the bottom there. And then we can just scale and do what we're supposed to do here. Okay, so now we have that piece of wood. And let's see. In this one, you can see there's some wobbly things going on. Can push this up a bit more. Again, the combinations of everything doing a little bit of something, it's gonna be the good stuff for us. Cool. So down here, for example, here there's some wood panels we could try. Or we can keep it simple. Let me just check it. Some ideas. I think I'm gonna keep it just simple like so. I'm going to talk about lighting, and I have a lot of trouble every time I need to light a scene. Yeah, today I think I'm gonna doing Arnold here. Our final image is gonna be done in Marmoset, but I think I'm gonna use Arnold just to get a feeling of what's going on here. So yeah, we might talk about lighting. Let me save it so it's good. Gnomon. I'm gonna make a folder for Maya. Call it stage 0. Oh, now for the curtains, we could do some simulation in ZBrush, or we could, for now, like sometimes for now at least, I like to do for curtains like this. I like to just like add some edge loops, verticals. So and add even more later. But let's do some main folds first. So I like to select a few like this. Let's go one after the other. And then we can push forward this. And then we kind of have already kind of a shape of, and then we can sim this later to kind of get a little more life to it. I'm gonna do the same thing for, let me push this back a bit. So, and then let's add some divisions here. Yeah, we can use Maya class. I've been really trying to learn the damn ZBrush cloth thingy. It's so frustrating. But yeah, we can do in Maya. We can use Blender to sim some stuff. Okay, so let's pretend that's that. On the top one, you can see that like the top's a bit more pinched and the bottom comes out more. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get the verts, the bottom verts, and I'm gonna keep the top verts a bit more pinched up there. And adding this shape is gonna help on the sim as well a little bit. So something like this, you see, it gives some life already. We might want, it's not bad. All right, so let's put some color here. So assign a new material. I'm gonna put probably a red curtain. Let's check it out here. Yeah, I'm gonna do the classic red, velvety red. Then it's a bit darker, and the cloth itself is not very shiny, so I need to tone down the intensity of the shininess of it. It's just a smidge like this. I think I got the color right. I think it needs to be a bit more subdued. All right, it's a bit closer. So that's good for a block cap. Let's think about on the walls. The walls again, we can keep it polygonal like this. I don't like it. I like to add division to everything. So what I'm going to do here is just add, because I can, if I add divisions, I can always bring some, I like to call anatomy, but anatomy meaning like I like to add those little nuances that I talked about, just like push some words here and there and give some life to it. That's what I call the anatomy of an environment. Tool, add some edge glue support here. And then we got it everywhere. And then, for example, we could dent a little bit, let's say this wall here, this part here of the wall. Oops. I can push it in a bit, just like, because the kids, they play around here, so maybe the wall, something happened, whatever. So if I subdivide now, we got that. And we can also give some texture to it. So I'm gonna assign a Lambert and just put some whiter color for the walls. Cool. And on the back there, I can put this one for wall as well. Just the Lambert too. Now we're gonna think about the decoration. What we're gonna do for the decoration of our stage. What I thought, the idea of having some stars and maybe some like a little cloud or something. So let's make a little star. And see here. We can make a star. We can make, let's think of something else. They're singing Let It Be by the Beatles. So I think just like open theme, like a sun, maybe a tree like this. Let me make a sun so we can put her close to her. That would be cool. So I'm gonna get a little cylinder. One thing I like to do is I don't want to work high res if I don't have to. So I always like to work as low res as possible, because that will help me. So this is gonna be like my sun. I can just for now, actually, we can even make just like paper thin right now, and then we can make some triangular shapes. Even with this one, we can take this and make some triangular shapes. Did I duplicate? Yeah. Oh, here we go. All right, so we can make some triangles like this for our sun. That might need to be attached to it because, yeah, something like this. And then we can duplicate. And again, it's handmade, so I'm not going to make it perfect. I'm just going to kind of like imagine that some kid glued this thing together. So he wasn't measuring to make like a perfect amount of rays and stuff. So we can just rotate a little and make like this shape. Cool. Select all of this. I'm going to group it for now. Here in the center, let's put a material. I like to put colors on stuff. It helps me visualize things a bit better. So just gonna put a little yellow color, orangey yellow. This. Let's rotate up. Very tiny. No worries. Scale up. Then we can put some strings later on, like, I think it might need a bit more raise. So work smart, like you see that I kept the pivot point in the center so I can like duplicate stuff. So the more you can do this kind of things, the more it helps you to edit your model. Well, it's always good to be checking on our camera. So if I go here to my panels and go to shot cam, I can see what's going on there. I can put this a little deeper, a bit higher like this. Cool. Let's save it. Let me check the chat here. Where did you apply as the character modeler? Well, the places I worked is where I applied. Well, actually, no, when I left school, I applied in a bunch of places to try to get my first job, because when you get that first job, everything else comes a bit easier after. So I applied pretty much everywhere I could when I left school. I applied to places like Nickelodeon, every studio here in LA, basically. I try to apply, and I really believe, like, you do your first job as a modeler, and then it's easier to find all the jobs after, because you're gonna start having like a professional portfolio. You're gonna have a resume with places you've been. So that's what I did. Patrick 3D said, "Hello, Leticia. Tip for drawing at least once in Photoshop really helped me. I just draw over my reference in Photoshop before I sculpt." Yes. Yes. Drawing is always going to be faster. And so if you have that skill and you can do, even if it's like a shitty drawing on top, just to kind of visualize things, that's what I do, right? Oscar, how's it going, Oscar? Let me know if you need set dressing, huh? All right, so Oscar, great friend of mine, he works with me at Disney, and we work together as well at DreamWorks. When we were at DreamWorks, and we did a lot of set dressing together at DreamWorks. So he's offering to help. And I'm like, Oscar, your help is always welcome, my friend. So you want to do some set dressing? For those of you who don't know Oscar's work, let me open here. I'm gonna put you on a spot because you're making fun of me here, Oscar. So, Oscar, Ayala, this boy here, check it out. Amazing, amazing modeler. And you're missing some work here, Oscar. You better start updating your art station. Look at how cool all this stuff he did. Very inspiring. If you want inspiring stuff to follow, here it is. It's a great Oscar. Look at that. Some cool details. Cool. Do you know Aaron Blaze? He was art director at Disney for Brother Bear. I am taking his course. Yes. I mean, I don't know Aaron Blaze like personally, but I did take his class as well on his school, like his online school. I have a bunch of his classes and they're amazing. Very good for anyone that wants to draw kind of like Disney cartoon style. I loved it. Love the class. Jace, I worked in a lot of indie games from Fiverr and ArtStation, and the opportunity just came after. Yeah, that first job is so important. If you can get that first job and start getting into it, um, for me at least, everything else came easier after I had that damn first job. You know what I mean? Cool. Right. What else? Should we do like a funny tree like this? That could be cool. Uh, or should I put some stars? Well, if there is a sun, probably not stars. Maybe some birds, cut out birds would be cool. Yeah, I think birds and flowers might be nice. So let's try some birds. We can bring a model in here just to get a feeling. Hey, Ivan, Ivan, stop running away from the tree. Yeah, I'm running away from the tree. Let's do the tree. Okay. I accept the challenge. Let's do tree. All right. So for the tree, very easy. We don't need to do much, to be honest. Let me hide this floor here. Okay. Let's do a tree. I was challenged to do a tree. So I always start things with the cube. Okay. Gonna do from the front view. Let's use our tree. I only need the cutout, so I'm gonna delete the other faces. Here's gonna be the base of it. Take a bit bigger. Then we can push this up. Do a little taper here. Tree. Might be doing too big, but see? Smaller. This. And even models. Place here. So have you guys been watching anything good? And because it's a cutout, we could extrude some things, but yeah, let's extrude. But we could also just shove it in there. But let's extrude. Let's extrude. Make it clean. So thinking of here, let's do a branch like this one, like on the top here. So I'm gonna do something like this. Then we can just extrude. Did you guys watch anything good lately? Do something like this. Okay. Smaller here. I just like to do thick to thin, you know? Sandman, yeah, I like to watch Sandman. Just working every day, oh my god. You need some fun, man. Go watch some shows. Okay. Something like this. And then we can do, let's do one on the bottom. Save it, so it's good to save it. Sea Beast, yes, that's right. Sea Beast is the bomb. Lord of the Rings series. Yeah, that's a good one to wait for. Do you guys watch Sea Beast? It's good. All right. Stop promoting my own film. My own film, like the film is mine. Oh, I just model. Yeah, the water's pretty good, huh? In Sea Beast. I really liked it too. I'm trying to add here as little geometry as possible, but later on you're gonna see that I'm gonna go back in and start adding a little more loops and stuff, just so to give a bit more life to it. I might take all of this, move it up a bit. So cool. And yeah, CVs is pretty good. Have you created anything on the water scenes in your career, like Finding Nemo? Um, no, I don't think I have. Underwater. I don't think I've done any underwater stuff much. Um, like at least on my personal project, I don't think I ever done underwater stuff. As you all can see, also I'm not doing things on the other side because I'm just gonna turn on symmetry and then I'm gonna break symmetry after, so I don't need to do it twice too much. So, how many polygons has each character roughly? They look amazing. Oof, I don't remember. To be honest, I don't remember how many polys I added on those characters. I do not remember. And I didn't do the final model, right? I did the VizDev model. So on the final model, they probably changed what I did, like the amount of polygons, because I was just doing VizDev, so I could use as many polys as I wanted. To be honest, the objective of doing the VizDev model is not production model; is just to get the best looking character possible. So it doesn't matter so much how many polys I'm using. Who's gonna take care of that is would be the production team. Okay, let's think about this. I'm almost done here with the damn tree. We can do something. So push this one out. Um, Production is very creative too. I would say production is both. It's creative and technical, where VizDev is much more creative. Like you're not gonna do a lot of technical stuff. Sometimes depending though, the VizDev, like I was doing mainly modeling VizDev with a little bit of texturing, but some people they do VizDev where they do modeling, texturing, some lighting, some stylization, and that can become pretty technical even for VizDev, to figure that stuff out. So it depends. It depends. And I was doing because I was mainly modeling with a little bit of texturing. It was pretty not much technical at all. Right, this is gonna be our tree. Gonna move all this stuff up a bit more. This. And now I'm going to mirror it. Then we can break symmetry. Quick mirror, positive. Okay, so you can see that it's obviously very symmetrical. So now we can come back here and start breaking a little more. So this is a way to do things asymmetrical without having to, suffer too much, I would say. So that's kind of like one way I like to do it. We can move this up so that tree branch is coming out different way. Something like this. We can even delete, obviously, polygons. So, or we can add polygons. For example, I can get here, add a little more to this one. This. Go out a bit more. And that starts becoming more asymmetrical. I think this stuff here, I'm going to push it out more. Here, and delete this one. Do one up here. All right. Cool. So now we have that. And normally stage trees, they would have they'd be three-dimensional, meaning like they would duplicate this and then rotate like so to create like 3D feeling. Right. And we can rotate this, and we can put a little circle in the center. Like a little base. Like I said, I don't like to work too high res, so less. And this is gonna be the base holding whole structure together. And bam, we got a tree. Let's see. I think VizDev is fun, creativity. Please tell more about VizDev. Do you think about the production modelers when doing VizDev stuff like topology and UVs? That's a great question. I had mentioned you a portfolio to Ian Robson on Pixelogic, ZBrush. I think they might invite you on their stream soon. Oh, nice. Thanks, Katri. I would say, let's talk about VizDev modeling. That's a subject that people like to talk about. VizDev modeling, it's super fun. It's obviously not as fun for the artist that needs to clean up the VizDev work I just did, right? So I think like this. I think it's a great, great opportunity. It's very good for the show sometimes to have one person figuring out the whole style of the show. That is also pretty cool. In my opinion, that might create like some frustration sometimes to the modelers that needs to clean up the VizDev work. And again, that is a decision that the studio is gonna make, right? If they want VizDev modeler, obviously they're gonna make it. Me myself, like if I had my own studio, I would not have a VizDev modeler. I'll have all my modelers being capable to do VizDev. And they could do VizDev, and then they can do the production models. And I think, in my opinion, that's the most healthy way to maintain your artists happy. But again, it depends on what is the objective of some places. You know, I'm not judging. I know production is not a family. We have to finish a movie, yada yada, all the good stuff. But if I want my artists to want to be at the studio for a long period of time, I think I would want them to be able to do the production bits, the more technical bits, but also the more fun bits like the VizDev stuff. That's just my opinion, obviously. I don't own a studio. So that's just like if I had the opportunity to manage a studio, I would probably do that. Cool. All right. Might do this a bit bigger. All right. We got a tree. Rodrigo said yes, yeah. When I have my own studio, no, I don't know. No, I don't think that will happen, but never know. Let's put some birds. My mentor told me to sculpt a detailed character as I have an artistic hand. So how do I remove my mental block to think of any new character? I'm artistic, but couldn't think of some different character. Not sure if I understand your question. Do you mind explaining a bit more? Do you start from base with good topology when you work for a studio, or do you start from a sphere blocking instead? It depends on the studio. Some studios, they have their own topology. They want you to start from it. Some places, they're more free and they let you start with the sphere and you make topology later. So it depends on the studio, basically, Alina. Alina, by the way, how are you doing? Jay said, I love Pixelogic streaming, but Gnomon can be that healthy competition. I love it. That's right. Gnomon is life, man. Oh, well, Pixelogic is life too, but I'm biased. Jin said, Disney might hear you. Oh no. Yeah, Mickey is hearing everything. It must be frustrating if you spend most of your time cleaning up model rather than being creative. Yes, I believe so. So I don't know. I don't know if that would be healthy for a studio, but again, production is not family, right? They have their objective, those things to think about. So, they choose the best path they think it's needed. Um, and for them, if that is to have a vista modeler to define whatever they need to define, that's going to be, right? And I don't judge that. Again, the studio is not your family. They're not there to make you they're there to make you semi-happy for sure, but like they do what's best for they think it's for the project, right? So anyways, that's just my opinion. What do I know? Right? That's just how I think. So, thanks, FHC. Those one day we will have a big remasher to work with, but this day is not today. Yeah. Well, what are you saying is true. We still need to learn the production pipeline, and I know that you do because I saw it in your portfolio. That's right. And at Disney, I do both things. I do biz dev, and I also do production models. So at the end, in my opinion, you have to know both if you want to um, value yourself, right? To anywhere I want to go, right? I want to go to any place, the more I know about production, the better asset I will be, even if I'm being hired to be a business modeler. Right? All right, I'm thinking here. Maybe we should bring our character just to get a feel for it. We still need to do some birds. But let me open ZBrush so we do a quick export of our character to get a feeling for it. All right, let's open here. Let's open it. I'm gonna bring our singing boy. Go. All right. So I have some modifiers applied in ZBrush, so it's not gonna look like this. But we can just apply the modifier just so we can see. We can apply some dynamic subdivision stuff. Apply. I think that's about it. Pans. What? Okay, so let's export this and see how it looks there. It's gonna come super tiny because I didn't scale yet properly in ZBrush, but that's okay. So let's put here singing char stage, just so we can see what we need. Boom, boom. I'm currently preparing for a strong demo reel, but couldn't think of something different character. I'm struggling to make a different concept from scratch That's my question. Oh, I see. So if you want to apply a smaller, my suggestion is don't do your own concept. You want to choose some very strong concept to apply, because as a modeler, they don't care much if you can concept per se. What they care is that if you can take someone else's concept and you can make it as good as possible, right? So if you're struggling to make your own concept, don't just, like I said, like get someone else's concept, a strong concept artist, and use that, because that's what you're gonna do on your job every day. If you apply to be a concept artist, then you gotta maybe take some classes about how to develop new concept ideas. There are many talks about that, how to like create ideas for concepts and such. But again, if you're applying to be a modeler at a studio, the best way is to get a good concept and model it the best way possible to show your work. That's what they want to see, because that's what you're going to do every day in the job. You're going to be doing what? You're going to be modeling other people's concepts, right? So that's what they want you to do. So I would say that. Okay, so let's put this character here. I'm going to duplicate it here, dupe it here, dupe it. And then for now, I'm going to dupe it and put our girl here. We don't have it yet, but now we can kind of see what's going on here. Characters, kind of cool. You can see that now that we have the characters, might think different. Check the scale, right, of things. I think the tree is working well. We might need to make our characters a bit bigger, to be honest. Maybe more than a meter. This, I think that's gonna be better. Yeah, what do you all think? Let me put on a shot cam so you can see. And this girl is gonna be like more on the side like this, doing something. There's some tangent going on here I need to work on. Hey Atia, how's it going? We're doing some quick environment modeling here so you can get back to character. Haley, hey Kaylee, how's it going? Haley's asking, good question. What do you look for when picking a concept art to translate to 3D? For me, normally I look for storytelling and good design choices. So like if I get attracted by the design, for example, if I get here my art station, you open here, I can show an example. If you look at something like this, I did this funeral scene, right? Here's the concept on the top. So when I saw this, I saw a very good design language. I also saw a beautiful story that I could try to push it on my own way. So that's normally what I look like: good design choices and a good story, right? A good design, it's great, but if you also have a story, you're gonna connect with people on a different level, in my opinion, right? So, for example, if I say take this one, this is a concept art by Brittany Lee. You can see here. So beautiful design choices, right? Beautiful, very nice, beautiful storytelling. Not just with shapes, but look at the light. The light separate them right in the center here, where their legs, the legs here let's look at this very fast because this is fascinating to me. So look at this. There is a light here separating them, right? They're in their own universe. He's reading his journal, she's reading his book, everything's good, she's having her food. There's a very central line separating them, but we still feel that they're connected as a couple just because of this. Check it out. This cross here. It's like they're in their own little universe, but they're not alone because they're together here, you know? This for me, beyond the shapes and stuff, this is like beautiful storytelling. That if I can really capture that stuff that Brittany put on the model, it's gold, you know? So look for, at least in my opinion, is I always look for those kind of things. And I think that's what makes sometimes be honest, like my work, I feel like this because of the storytelling, I feel like it's a strong piece, you know, to put on my portfolio. Here. Pum, 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 pum. Okay. Nice. All right. Jace. Ok. Prestigiando mais uma live dos dentinhos mais conhecidos do Brasil. Isso aí, meu velho. Ah, yeah, my teeth are very iconic. Not just my teeth, my gums, right, are very iconic. Yep, yep. I think I'm gonna add more sun rays. I think it's gonna look better. Just a little more. I'm feeling too bare bone. So just gonna rotate a little more, add a bit more sun rays here. Eh, yeah, I think that's prettier. We'll see. See, we'll see, we'll see. I also think that maybe I could make a bit more cutesy instead of the points going so far like this. I think we could make, oh, that's not bad, but that's not what I was trying to do. I think we could, okay. I wanted to, oh, wait, I think I know. See if it's gonna look, yeah, that might look better. See. Hey, Felipe, how's it going in Europe? Your vacation? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're progressing slow. I mean, I wish I was going faster, but I talk too much. But we're gonna get there at some point. Yeah, but this is gonna be our stage basically. It's not much more to do. I was thinking maybe I should do some like wood planks, but I don't think it's gonna matter to be honest. Like, I think we could do this, and then in the back there is a different kind of like curtain, like a black curtain in the back. But we might do like a little painting with, oh yeah, I need to model some birds. Let's do some birds. Do you need permission to add the work you have done for any studio to add on your portfolio, or just add the final output all by yourself? Depends on what you want to show. If you're taking a frame from the movie, like an image from the movie, you don't need permission. But if you want to post something beyond what is in the movie, you need permission on the studio. So it's always good to be careful with that stuff. So you send, normally the studio have someone that you can talk to that's going to help you define what can you share, what can you not. And then they normally send to a legal team to see if it's okay to share what you want to share. Um, I always I always like to do that because you don't want to piss off the studio. You know what I mean? So it's good to be very careful with that stuff. So I like to send and get permission, get a written permission. So I have that uh, as a safety net for me. What am I doing here? I don't know. Make a bird. Uh, let's look for a bird cutout. All right, let's look at some flying birds. I don't have no idea what I was doing. Let's see a cute bird here. Always look for reference. Yeah, so if you work on any studio, please make sure before you post anything that you have permission from someone in a written email that you got permission for that. So then you can post away, no problem. Have fun in life. I think you're gonna do like a dove. Something very cheesy, like a dove like this. That might be cool or something like this. But more stylizing. So I think I'm gonna go with this one. Let me copy this. Kind of something like this. Little more. Paste here. Alright, so let's do a quick cutout. Shing! Sorry, some allergies today. Hey, I always like to work rough to fine also. So you guys can see that I'm like working relatively fast and I'm like not adding too much detail, but then later on I'm going to add a bit more detail to it and be pretty. But I'm a big rough to fine person. Like I like to block the main shapes and then slowly block smaller shapes and then smaller shapes and then smaller shapes, etc. Let's think about this. Maybe I need one more going out for the beak. This. We can turn off the lights to kind of see in black and white, see what's going on. So obviously the neck is like super huge. You can bring this here. You don't use Illustrator on this Mali? Good. I'm more like I rather do the cutouts by hand like this. You could definitely do it. You know, doing by hand, it makes it feel like it is done by hand. That's why I like to do things by hand because it kind of gives that more like, handmade feel to things sometimes instead of making like a perfect cutout. And that is cool, especially for this project, obviously. Sometimes maybe other projects might be different, but on this one is good because this is kind of like a low budget production sort of thing. So I don't want to feel like it, is too out there or anything like that. So triangles here. So just again, I'm just thinking about like the silhouette of this thing. something like this. If I turn off here, you can see kind of the shape going on, and obviously I can round it more here and just add a few more resolution here on this side. I can add a bit more here on the head. And again, this is not going to be deformed. So having triangles, it's not a problem at all. Push the whole head down a bit. Oops. More. Hello. You doing your little no? All right, so I did this one. My biggest problem, I get lost into detail so much in the beginning, skip the process of blocking shapes at first, and then causes me mental block. Does this happen to you as well at the start of your career? Yes, I think we all go through uh, that moment where we just want to add details because this is about anxiety, I feel like, at least for me. It's like I want to see things done, so I start adding details sooner than I should. And then not good. So what I would say, you gotta kind of like try to be a bit more patient with yourself, you know, and not working. You gotta try to be a bit more patient with yourself and know that you're gonna get there, you know. But if you respect the process of blocking things, making things slow and clean, etc., trust me, like it's gonna pay off. And I think you already know that for what you're saying. You already know it's gonna pay off, you know. So my suggestion is try to hold that anxiety and try to like really work slow on your block out, like forcefully work slow so you can develop that skill of having patience with yourself and with the process, I would say, you know. And it takes time. It takes, like I said, it takes a lot of patience. Um, but trust me, like when I start working slower in in my way of modeling, my level of artistry got much better because I was really, really, really focusing on what is important, you know, what are the important things on my model. And it's not going back. Like you can see, I work when I'm modeling, I work relatively slow, I would say, because especially for character stuff. Environments, like I said, I'm using the environment here not as a showpiece. For me, the environment is to help the storytelling. So I'm not too concerned about making my environments perfect. I just want them to support my characters, basically. So that's kind of like where I see environments. But when I'm doing characters, yeah, I'm not gonna play around. I'm gonna work slow. I'm gonna do things the way I think is right so I can really focus on the design choices, etc. So again, I think it's an exercise of patience. And the sooner you start doing that, you're gonna see your models just becoming that much better because you're working with intention. And intention for me is such an important thing, you know, to work things with intention. So, okay, so I got a bird. I hope that that's helpful. Currently doing animated class sim and marvelous designer. My PC is sweating. Yep, some softwares are gonna do that for you. Jay said my OCD kicking in to seeing those triangles. No, man, don't be afraid of triangles. Triangles are friends. For environments, I do triangles all the time. No worries at all. Okay, so let's put some birds around. I'm gonna make them a bit smaller like this, and then we can have like one here. Maybe one's gonna be glued to the thing up here. Let's see what else we have. Cool thing is that since I did the wings separate, actually let's do a few up here like they're trying to. Since I did the wings separate, I can move them a little bit around and they don't look like exactly the same manufacturer. So I can do this like rotate one wing, can rotate one out like this more. We can make a wing a bit smaller, so it's not doesn't feel like we can even rotate the whole bird like it's not completely aligned. So those again, those little things for environment are so important, everyone. I can't stress enough how important it is to do these little movements on environment to give life to it, um to give character. Okay. So look at that. Now they're all like flying around. They're not in the right spot. That's okay. So this guy and this guy is gonna be inside the stage, flying around in here. So this ones are going to be on the curtain, like glued on the curtain, or at least hanging on it. I don't know if it's gonna be glued, but it's gonna be hanging on. And I think back there, I'm gonna make a curtain, like a blue curtain, like a blue sky, open sky. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna duplicate this thing. I'm gonna make a new curtain. Sorry if this is off topic. I just want to know if you should export my Unreal Engine scenes to Blender so I get better renders to my portfolio. I don't think so. I think the way that Unreal is right now, you can get pretty amazing level of renders in there. If you feel like you're not getting the level of renders that you want, then you can do it, obviously. But I mean, Unreal, it's Unreal. Like, he can do crazy rendering. If you look at, we have a show here, the Gnomon channel. It's called The Voice of Hollow, and they do all the render for a movie in Unreal. So it's up to you, but I think you can get pretty good um, level of render, like I said, inside Unreal. All right, let me come over here. Let's put a little kind of like light blue sort of thing going on here. Not too light because their shirts are gonna be blue, so we're gonna have to work on some colors later. I'm gonna do something like this. And I'm gonna do two pieces like so. Okay. Creating a little seam here, but I think that gives, again, character. Well, we might take it off. We'll see. All right. How do I contact Alex Alvarez? Like, I have questions for him. I'm curious, kid. Anything like email or DM? Um, if you're interested in knowing stuff about Gnomon, I would say contact the Gnomon recruiters, like the not recruiters. What's the name they call? They were gonna be able to help you if you're interested on stuff about Gnomon specifically. Um, with Alex Alvarez, like you're gonna have to try to contact him yourself because gotta see if he's a busy man, so I don't know. But you can try to contact you can try no for sure you can contact Nauman if you want any information about the classes and stuff like that, if that's what you need. If you want to talk specifically with Alex, then you probably need to try to contact him directly. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Are there projects that you refuse? I recently got a job modeling for a 3D porno game, and I just felt kind of wrong. Well, yeah, we all have projects we refuse depending on our, the way we want to do things for sure. Um, I never got offered that kind of job, but because of the style of my work, it's so stylized. I never got an offer for that, but I do get offered sometimes stuff that unfortunately I just don't have the time to do it or, you know, things like that. So, yeah, I normally don't. I try not, especially for now. Like I'm working at Disney. I'm doing this live stream stuff. I normally don't take more jobs anymore as I used to, like freelance work, because I prefer doing very well what I'm doing for Gnomon and on my day job than getting work projects. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think I'm gonna do this and maybe push like so. Yeah, I think that looks cool. Like the layering of it. Okay, let's think about this now. I think we have some elements going on. We might want a few more things to our stage. Maybe like a little bush down here or something. But as you can see, we kind of blocked out some things, and now I could start simming some things and um, high resing some stuff as well. Um, all right. When you model a character in your work, do you also make the hair, or do they have a proper artist just to do that? Yes, we normally model the hair, like I'm modeling here. And then we give this to the hair artists, and then they do the final, XGen hair, whatever tools they use to do the hair. Alex is so nice. Alex just gave his this Instagram handle over there, so you can chat with him if you're interested. You see, so you're free, and yeah, let me mirror this a little bit. I can put a dove like mirrored, maybe like up here on the side or in the back as well. Good to mirror one of these. No, they're flying together somewhere. So I'm just gonna mirror one. And maybe she is flying a little lower. Here. That's cool. All right. And we're gonna do some little strings holding them, you know. Think that's pretty good. I might think of some other stuff. Like I said, I might add some flowers around or some stars. I mean, let's make one flower and call it cylinder here. This, okay. Pilot, what tools and scripts in Maya do you recommend us to install to make the flow inside the software better? I don't install anything crazy in Maya. Like, I normally make my own scripts, like little quick scripts. Um, well, wow, there's so many. It's hard to say, but um, I normally model like you can guys can see, like I don't do anything crazy. Like I'm not doing any crazy max or things like that. So everything that is in Maya already, it's kind of enough for me. To be honest. But like I said, like I have a few scripts up here that I like that I made myself, kind of like to duplicate stuff. I add some hotkeys and things like that to help me. But I'm much beyond that, to be honest. Most of my time in my career, I spend uh, in ZBrush with characters. So only when I'm actually doing things like modeling environments, which I don't do as much anymore at Disney, for example, then I would do it. I would have maybe some tools and such, but yeah, I don't I don't do it, to be very honest. Like, I use very basic modeling tools to make what I need. So this is gonna be like a petal together like this. So I'm gonna merge this down. Where is my combine? Okay, so we got one petal, other one. Again, like, I like to do it by hand. Some people like to calculate, like, oh, I'm gonna rotate this amount of times. But because this is a handmade project, right? Show, whatever you want to call it, it's actually nice that I'm not calculating stuff. So we can put like a yellow shader on this one, put yellow thingy, and then we can get all the petals and put another color like this, and then we got a little flower. Put it around. Maybe those flowers, they're like sticked on the backdrop curtain. That could be cool. Something like they're gonna be like glued here with tape, you know, just like around. And again, like, I gotta be careful. Here's a design tip. I gotta be careful not to make everything kind of similar size. Even with my birds, I can make like one bird a bit smaller here. Maybe this one can be a bit smaller. Gotta be careful with that stuff. You don't want to make things too close to to the same size. So with my flower here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make sure also that they're not the same size all the way. And I can put some flowers in the bottom. Again, like, I'm duplicating, but later I'm gonna go to them and I'm gonna scale, make sure they're not the same size. This kind of stuff, this is small amount of scale and nudging. That is so, so, so important, everyone. So, so, so important. I have no idea. And make things like this. Again, like, I not just scale, but movement, rotation, all this stuff is gonna create that kind of like hair that if I were to submit this to one studio, they'll be like, oh, I can see that she has hair. She's like rotating and she's really trying to make it feel like this was handmade. So that's the part that you gotta be extra careful with. And I might duplicate, even put some flowers up here, up more. Okay, let's check it. Flowers down here. Try to fill it up the stage with it. Whoa. I'm gonna take my doves and move it back up more. Cool. Yeah, let's make sure we have three-dimensionality going on here. It's not all on the same plane. I can move my sun back a bit more. I think this looks decent for now. Atia said, adding to the question of hair, does he need to be modeled out and UV and so when in production or simply a geo? It depends on the studio, Atia. This is a great question. What Atia is asking, like, how far do you need to take your modeled hair? Depends on the studio. Some studios they're gonna use those piece of geometries to extract curves to generate hair. So you have to be more decisive. Some studios they gonna just use the overall shape, and then they're gonna create their own curves and their own stuff. So it depends where you're working, you know. Like I've been on studios that you have to be very, very deliberate with the hair that you make. Where other studios is just like, oh, just give like a major shape and a major like block separation of the hair, and we're good to go. So it depends, yeah, I would say. Um, but yeah, like I don't remember having to do any crazy UV for hairs or anything in the past. Well, when I was working on, games, yeah, I had to do very, very specific UVs and stuff. But for animation, no. All right. Um, think this is pretty decent for oh, I might try to do a few more like bushes, like plant bush or flower bush or something. I really like this leafy thing that they did here. It's actually a pretty nice leaf. Maybe we could put some leaf up here as well. What do you all think? I don't know. I think this color also, I'm gonna put more like a trunk color, not so green, but a bit more that. Yeah, that's better. Cool. All right. Let's think about what else we can do here. Yeah, those leaves are very cool. Might have to do some of them. I'm just thinking, how should I put them around? Yeah, I like this dark blue actually in the back. I'm gonna do a dark blue instead of a light blue like I'm doing here. Darker saturated blue. Think that'll be cool. Ooh, it became night. Maybe not. Oh, it depends on the lighting. Let's try some lighting here with Arnold. Granted, it's been a while since I used Arnold, so don't judge me. I'm just gonna try to see what's going on with our stuff. Let me put this guys in there. I'm gonna put like a basic blend shader on them. Make them just like, skin tone for now. Just so we can kind of separate them from the background, like something like that. Cool. All right, let's put some lights on. We got a lighting test with some area lights. Remember to save first my little scratch. Yeah. If this was Blender, I would mask them out on Photoshop and import them. Yeah. All the work you do on all of Gnomon streams, are they all your personal work for portfolio? Yes. Thankfully, Gnomon, they let me do my own thing here. I choose, inside the archetype definition, I can make my own story and my own characters, and I can even use for my own portfolio. Pretty cool. So, all right, let's do some testing with lighting here, shall we? And hopefully, I'll know what I'm. It's been a while since I used Arnold, so let's do some tests. Let me save the scene. Okay. Now, if we go to our render properties here, this one. render properties. I'm gonna turn on auto render. It's already on, which is great. And we can render in the viewport now. Let's try the viewport render because we're only gonna try some quick lighting. So it should all get black. Let's see if it's gonna choke a bit because I'm live streaming. But yeah, so it's all black now, right? So let's create like a spotlight because in general, this kind of stuff would have like spotlight right on the stage. So I'm going to create, actually, I like to go here to the Arnold tab and use the Arnold lights. So I'm going to use the area lights. See what's going to happen. So for the Arnold lights, if I go to the settings here, I like to turn off normalize. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but normalize tries to work with the size of the light, normalizing the emission. I don't like that. So I'm going to turn it off. You can see that now it appears a bit more what's going on. I don't have Arnold shaders on my stuff yet. That's why everything looks kind of wet. But that's okay. Let's change the shape to like a cylinder, maybe. Something like this. Oops, that's not what I one sec. For this, that's what we can also use spotlights like Maya spotlight. Actually, let's try that. I think we can use spotlight. And then there is the Arnold tab here that we can use. So I'm gonna turn on the Arnold tab here. Turn off normalize. Let's see if I know what I'm doing. Okay. I think I need to let them know that I'm using Arnold. Don't remember how. See. AI light, mesh lights, area light. This is if I want to change that type. Not concerned about that. Exposure. Yeah, not gonna do it for now because I don't know what I'm doing. But if we go to here to Arnold lights, again, I'm gonna add the area light. We could also add a dome light to kind of create our AGRI. I make a disk, gonna turn off normalize. You guys can see like there's a little vibe to it. Let's zoom in, see what's going on. So let's add an AGRI to give the ambient light going on. So again, I'm gonna go to Arnold lights and I'm gonna do a sky dome light. And you can see that kind of has that kind of ambient occlusion vibe already. What it's doing here is basically, because I didn't put any images yet, it's basically getting this white color, you see, on it and sending around rays everywhere. So it creates this very nice diffuse color. One thing we can do now is get some of our materials, start converting them. I'm going to call this cloth material. And instead of a blend, I'm going to make this Arnold standard surface shader. So now I got to put the color again, which is fine. I have it here. And with the Arnold standard shader, it doesn't matter much. Again, like I could make it all gray, to be honest, because I'm not going to do the lighting in Arnold. I'm going to do a marmoset, so I'm not too concerned. But what I'm going to do here is just some stuff I'm going to convert to the Arnold shader, just so we can see things a bit better. Okay. So back there is very weird, so I'm going to convert to Arnold shader again. And then maybe we can put like I don't even need color. Like I said, I'm just gonna do like a darker tone back there and we're good. You can kind of get an idea now what's going on. So if we want this white overall volume shader, we can do that, or we can go get a HDRI. And I don't know if you guys know what HDRI is, but it's basically an image that has information about lighting. So it has values over 1 to 0. It actually has values dictating every pixel, if that pixel is emitting like 5 amount of rays, or not amount of rays, sorry, intensity. And that's pretty cool. Like, I'm going to show you guys here. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to plug a HDRI material. I don't know where the hell I have my HDRIs. It's in here. Let's get anything really, just to see what we feel. Get this one. So this is the image you see. And you see that this area of the image here has a lot of light, right? A lot of bloom, etc. So these pixels are actually going to be emitting intensity of light. You know, so this dark pixel is going to have a less powerful intensity of light than this area here. That's very important. So I'm going to open that, and you're going to see now that I have that image here, you see. And I'm only using this image to emit some light going on, some ambience, some reflection. It's amazing, right? So now you can see I get a little bit ambience feeling to it. But here's the thing. When we are in the theater, right, in the presentation, they normally turn off the lights, and the spotlight is pretty important. So I got to be careful with that, because I'm having too much ambient here. So what I'm going to do, let me just convert this material to Arnold material. Put a little wood color on it. This, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my HDRI, and I'm going to lower the intensity, because again, like imagine if someone turned off the spotlight on this theater, I would have this sort of like tone, right? Floor. So it will be like this sort of tone, like there's some bounce lighting still going on, but not too much. But then my main light, which is this circle here, you see, now this light is going to act as a spotlight where it's going to frame my character. So we've got to think about storytelling, right? Like if we're looking here on this area, this image here, you can see that everything around is kind of dark, not super dark, but kind of dark. And then the main area is more bright, because that's where the story is going to happen. Same thing here, right? Some darkness around, and then some main area of light. So that's what I'm trying to mimic here. And I think we're getting there. I can try to go to my shot cam to see how things are feeling. Yeah, you see, it's kind of dark around, and then we have this main focus on the stage. I would probably make that light a bit more intense. So let's go here on the intensity of this light and increase a bit more. And my thought was to have sort of like a light going on them, the 4 of them, and then we're going to have one more yellow light going on our main character. Because she, you know, talked with the lighting guy to have like a spotlight on her and be like pink color or yellow or something, and where this one is going to be like a very white light, very subdued stuff, you know, how angelic. So we can focus this light more on our foreheads here. And then I'm going to duplicate this light and kind of like make it smaller, orient a bit more to our girl. And maybe the intensity is a bit stronger on her. Still. And maybe the color has like some more yellow ray color on her. We'll see. When I go to Marmoset, because gonna use spotlights in Marmoset, I can make the very intense rays just on her. I'm not getting that here, which is okay, because I'm not using a spotlight, so I shouldn't be getting it. um, the work you do. Okay, why do you use our Marmoset? Well, Marmoset, it's my favorite tool of choice to render. That's basically why I use Marmoset. Marmoset's kind of fast. It's easy. Mm. It's clean. That's why I like Marmoset. But I could use any renders, right? I just saying like what I like. And since on this projects here, I'm having fun and kind of trying to show the way I do things. That's why I chose Marmoset, basically. Yeah, no worries. Mhm. It's a great question. People ask me all the time. It's like I really, really love working Marmoset. Like that's mainly it. Yeah, I could intensify way more this light here for her, and then the kids back there. And then if we go back to our shot cam, you can kind of see what's going on. Again, we're gonna have much more separated with the lights in Marmoset than this. But we can start having an idea. And I don't know really how I feel about this camera yet, this camera angle. And I'm gonna probably play with it in Marmoset as well for storytelling. Um, but for now, this is where we are. Like, I think we need to go more to ground level to, yeah, I don't know yet. The camera, it's gonna be tricky, but we'll get there. But I think that's it. Spotlights work with Arnold, but need to up exposure a bit to like 13 or so lights, or weird in Maya with Arnold, not sure why. Yeah, I feel you, Tia. I mean, we can try to do it here. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see. So I'm gonna get these two lights and I'm going to turn them off. I'm gonna hide them so we don't have them. And let's try again. I'm gonna create a spotlight. Let's see if we can get this to work. And then the Arnold tab, I'm gonna say use temperature and exposure. Bunch of exposure. 500. All right. This is working. Okay. Now, let's think about this. Obviously, it's not going to be like this. So let me push it down to 60 maybe. Too much still. Let's do 10. Little. 25. Too much. It's very sensitive, huh? 15. Okay, so we're starting to get that spot, you see. And this is cool to see. Yeah, thanks, Atia. That was a great idea. Oh, yeah. Now we're getting theater. Here we go. It's interesting to see here how sharp this transition is. And if you want to make this a bit softer, we can go here on the cone. I think it's on the cone drop off. No, it's on the, no, this is the angle. This is the penumbra. Yeah, the penumbra. We can give a little bit more of like less harsh feeling. So I'm going to actually do a lot of soft light like so. But you can kind of see we're getting more the spotlight vibe thanks to Latia here. And again, I'm going to keep the penumbra pretty big because, we're not trying to do anything too, what would I say, too dark, on this. You would imagine like the ambient light, maybe we can bring it up a bit more. Yeah. So we don't have so much contrast going on. But we still have a main light, which is nice. Let's put 18. 17, and then on our girl, I'm going to duplicate this and place one of this to our girl here. Maybe a bit more on the side like this. And maybe on her, we can give a little more intensity, like 18, so she gets a bit more intense. You can see here also that the shadows are super, super harsh, which in general, if you have a spotlight pointed on you, you're gonna have pretty defined, but not like this, not so defined like this. So a way to work on that, um, this light, I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna turn on normalize shadows. I don't know how to make the light soft here on this one. Be the radius. Let me see. Let's check. Oh yeah, it's the radius. You see now that my shadows are starting to get more fuzzy. That's the radius here. And now I'm getting more soft. So I think I'm gonna put like a 15 value on radius here. Again, like when you have a very pointy light like this, you're probably gonna get pretty defined shadow. But I don't want too much. 20, maybe 20 works. Let's get the other light. Put 20 again. Yeah, you can see what's going on here. Kind of cool because you can see like some of our props are getting cast shadows, which is nice. And again, I'm gonna increase my ambient light just a smidge more, 0.5. We can kind of see what's going on here. Anyways, that's kind of like us playing. Might make this bigger. This is just us playing here. Again, I'm gonna do the lighting marmoset, but it's a way for us to test it out what's going on in my and see what's up. And that's our time for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed. It was not characters, but you know, it's not about characters. We need environments to tell better stories. That's just the truth of life. So we have to embrace the idea that we need to make environments to tell better stories. I believe that. That's just my opinion as usual. So that's that. Mm. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything about what we did. I'm gonna keep developing this, and then hopefully soon we're going to, bring the characters to Marmoset. Actually, we need to do some texturing first, and then bring to Marmoset. But we can do a little bit of both next time. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me stop my render here, save my scene. Hey, honey. Yeah, no problem. I hope it was fun. I know it's not as glamorous as characters, but it's as important, like I said, as characters. So, and now we're gonna play a cool video from Gnomon and call it good. All right, see you all soon. Let's play a cool video from Gnomon. Here we go.